Okay, so in this lesson, we are going to learn how to multiply a monomial by a polynomial. Remember, monomial is one term by 4 or more terms. So we're going to use the distributive property while we're doing this. So anything outside the parentheses is going to be multiplied times everything inside the parentheses. But while we are doing this, we have to remember the product rule. That means when I multiply variables of the same base, we are going to add the exponents. Okay, so like we've done with product rule before when we learned the exponent laws. So as we're multiplying, we need to keep in mind that we are going to perform the product rule. When you multiply the same base, add the exponents. So like for this example right here, just a quick refresher. Multiply my coefficients, so 4 times 5 is 20, okay? And then x squared times x cubed is, since they have the same base, we're going to add 2 plus 3. So my exponent for x is 5. Okay, so taking that into consideration, we're going to get a lot of practice problems done. So let's just get started. So number 1, h times h is h squared. And h times 4 is plus 4h. Remember, the coefficient goes first, not h4. 2, k times k is k squared. K times negative 9 is negative 9k. 3, 9a times a is 9a squared. 9a times 1 is plus 9a. Number 4, 6p times p is 6p squared. 6p times negative 8 is negative 48p. Number 5, 3c times negative 2c is negative 6c squared. 3c times negative 5 is negative 15c. Then number 6, negative 4g squared times 2g. So negative 4 times 2 is negative 8. G squared times g is g cubed because 2 plus 1 is 3. 4g squared times 7, negative 4 times 7 is negative 28. And then g squared times nothing is g squared. Number 7, it just gets trickier because we're getting longer and longer polynomials. So x times x squared is x cubed because 1 plus 2 is 3. X times negative x is negative x squared because 1 plus 1 is 2. X times positive 3 is positive 3x. Number 8, 5m squared times 3m squared. 5 times 3 is 15. M squared times m squared is m to the 4th because 2 plus 2 is 4. 5m squared times negative m. 5 times negative 1 is negative 5. M squared times m is m to the 3rd because 2 plus 1 is 3. 5m squared times negative 7. 5 times negative 7 is negative 35 m squared. 9, negative 3n times n squared. Negative 3 times 1 is negative 3. N times n squared is n to the 3rd because 1 plus 2 is 3. Negative 3n times negative 2n. Negative 3 times negative 2 is positive 6. N times n is n squared. Negative 3 times positive 8 is negative 24n. Okay, number 10. Negative 2x times 6x squared is negative 12x cubed. Negative 2x times negative 12x is positive 24x squared. Negative 2x times positive 18 is negative 36x. Number 11 gets a little trickier because we're talking about two different variables in this problem. So just keep in mind, product rule says of the same base, I add the exponents. So if I look at 11, 3 times 1 is 3. xy times x squared is x cubed y because x is 1 plus 2 is 3 and y is by itself. 3x times xy, 3 times 1 is 3. X times x is x squared and y times y is y squared. 3xy times y squared, 3 times 1 is positive 3. X times nothing is x, and y times y squared is y to the 3rd because 1 plus 2 is 3. Number 12, 5r squared s squared times negative 2r squared. So 5 times negative 2 is negative 10. R squared times r squared is r to the 4th. And since I don't multiply anything with s squared, I'm just going to bring it down. 5r squared s squared times 3rs. 5 times 3 is 15. r squared times r is r to the third. S squared times s is s to the third. Then 5r squared s squared times negative 4s squared. So 5 times negative 4 is negative 20. R squared is nothing there, so bring it down. S squared times s squared is s to the fourth because 2 plus 2 is 4. 13, 3ab times 4a squared. So 3 times 4 is 12. A times a squared is a to the third. And there's nothing to multiply with b, so bring it down. 3 times negative 7 is negative 21. Nothing to multiply by a, so a by itself. B times b to the third is b to the fourth. 14. Negative 4c cubed d squared times 9c squared d squared. So negative 4 times 9 is negative 36. C cubed times c squared is c to the fifth. D squared times d to the squared is d to the fourth. Then negative 4c cubed d squared is times negative 4cd to the fifth. So negative 4 times negative 4 is positive 16. C cubed times c is c to the fourth. And d squared times d to the fifth is d to the seventh. Little doozy there. 15, 10 times negative 2 is negative 20. M to the fourth times m is m to the fifth. N times n to the third is n to the fourth. Plus 10 times 3 is 30. M to the fourth and nothing is m to the fourth. N times n is n squared. So we're going to practice taking that, but then also simplifying with what we learned the day before, which is just combining like terms. So take just adds an extra step. So bear with me and let's keep going. So 16, negative 2x times 3x is negative 6x squared. Negative 2x times negative 4 is positive 8x. Remember, that only applies to those that are inside the parentheses, so I'm going to bring down this positive 7x down. And right here, I need to look for simplifying. So that means looking for anything that's like terms. So nothing is going to combine with negative 6x squared, so I'm going to bring it down. But I can combine 8x plus 7x, which is positive 15x. And there we go. 17, I have two sets to distribute and then combine. So 5w times negative 7w is negative 35w. 5w times positive 3 is positive 15w. Okay, so that's my first set. Then I'm going to take care of the second set. So we're going to add that to what I get over here. 2w times negative 2w squared is negative 4w cubed. 2w times 19w is positive, bear with me, positive 38w squared. And then 2w times 2 is positive 4w. Then from here, I'm going to look for like terms. So I do want to start with the highest power I see. So the highest power I see is to the third power. Nothing can combine with it, so I'm going to bring it down. Then I look at the next highest power, which is w squared. Again, nothing will combine with it. Oh, yep, I'm missing that squared. So 38w squared and negative 35w squared do combine to make positive 3w squared. Then my last one I can combine is positive 15w and positive 4w. That makes positive 19w. 18, okay. So I'm going to distribute here, here, and then combine. So y times y is y squared. Y times 4 is positive 4y. Negative y times y is negative y squared. Negative y times negative 3 is positive 3y. And that does not apply to outside the parentheses, so I'm going to bring down that minus 9y. Then I look to see where I can combine. So starting with the highest power, y squared and y squared, those cancel because y squared minus y squared is 0. Then I look at the next one, which would be the y's. So positive 4y plus 3y is 7y. 7y minus 9y is negative 2y. So after all of that, simplifies to negative 2y. 19, 6x times 2x is 12x squared. 6x times negative 3 is negative 18x. On the right side, negative 5 times 2x squared is negative 10x squared. Negative 5 times positive 9x is negative 45x. Negative 5 times negative 3 is positive 15. Then I look to see if I can combine, starting with my highest power, which is squared. 12x squared minus 10x squared is 2x squared. Then moving on, negative 18x minus 45x is negative 43x. And then nothing can combine with positive 15, so I'm going to bring that down. 20, negative 2 times 3m cubed is negative 6m cubed. Negative 2 times positive 5 is negative 10m. Negative 2 times positive 6 is negative 12. Okay. On the second set of parentheses, 3m times 2m squared is positive 6m cubed. 3m times 3m is positive 9m squared. 3m times 1 is positive 3m. Then I look to see where I can combine, starting with my highest power, which are the m cubes. These would cancel because negative 6m cubed plus 6m cubed are 0. Then I move on to the m squared. So I only see 1 here, the 9m squared, and that does not combine with anything. Then I move on to the m's. Negative 10m plus 3m is negative 7m. Nothing to combine with negative 12, so I'm going to bring that down by subtracting 12. 21. 3 sets of parentheses to distribute. So negative 3y times 7y is negative 21y squared. Negative 3y times negative 2 is positive 6y. On the second set of parentheses, positive 3 times y squared is positive 3y squared. Positive 3 times 2y is positive 6y. Positive 3 times positive 1 is positive 3. On the third set of parentheses, negative 3y times negative 15 is plus 15y squared. Negative 3y times 3 is negative 9y. Then I look to combine my like terms, which starts with the highest power of the y squareds. There are 3 of them. Read it from left to right. Negative 21y squared plus 3y squared is 18y squared. 18y squared plus 15y squared would be 33y squared. Then I combine the y's, 6y plus 6y minus 9y. 6y plus 6y is 12y, minus 9y is positive 3y. And then the only constant I see is positive 3, so I bring that down. 22, 2 sets of parentheses, so 4x squared times 2x squared is 8x to the 4th. 4x squared times x is 4x to the 3rd. 4x squared minus 5 or times negative 5 is negative 20x squared. The second set of parentheses, negative x times x cubed is negative x to the 4th. Negative x times 5x squared is negative 5x to the 3rd. Negative x times negative 3 is plus 3. And it does not apply to the positive 17 on the outside of parentheses, so I'm going to bring that down. If I start with the highest power, that's 8x to the 4th. So 8x to the 4th minus x to the 4th is 7x to the 4th. The third power is 4x cubed minus 5x cubed is negative 1x cubed. Then x squared, which there's only 1, so minus 20x squared comes down. Then x, which there doesn't apply to this one, so then our constants, positive 3 plus 17 is positive 20. 2 sets of parentheses here, even though it only looks like 1 at first. Negative 2x times x cubed is negative 2x to the 4th. Negative 2x times negative 6x squared is positive 12x to the 3rd. Negative 2x times 6 is negative 12x. It does not apply to the 4x cubed because it's outside the parentheses. Now, at first glance on this one, it looks like there's nothing to distribute on this second set of parentheses, but this is a negative 1. And we actually do want to distribute this negative 1. So negative 1 times 5x to the 4th is negative 5x to the 4th. Negative 1 times 10x is negative 10x. So just watch out for those invisible ones. Starting with my highest power, negative 2x to the 4th, negative 5x to the 4th. That's negative 7x to the 4th. Then my third power, 12x cubed and 4x cubed make 16x to the 3rd. Then there's no squared, but there is x's. So negative 12x minus 10x is negative 22x. There's no x's, there's no constants, so I'm done. All right, what happens when I have parentheses within the parentheses? So I know there's a couple of ways I could do this, but I want to kind of work my way inside out. So I'm going to leave these brackets here, kind of rewrite it, and I'm going to focus on the set of parentheses that are inside. So negative 5 times 3ab is negative 15ab. Negative 5 times negative 2b squared is positive 10b squared, okay? And then this just comes down because it's outside the parentheses. Now I think of this as another set of parentheses, but this time I'm going to distribute 4b to everything inside. So 4b times 2a squared is 8ab, a squared b. 4b times negative 15ab is 60ab squared. 4b times 10b squared is positive 40b to the third. Then I'm going to bring down this 29ab squared. Now, it looks a little tricky when it comes to knowing where to start. So if we go in alphabetical order, let's focus on the a's. So the highest a I see is this 8a squared and the a squared b. So there is no a squared b on the other three. So that means I am done. This is a 8a squared b. Then I look at the next power for a would be 1, so that means here and here. So negative 60ab squared and 29ab squared, notice they have the same last name. So negative 60 plus 29, that's 31, negative 31 and ab squared, because all we're doing is combining. And then lastly, that's a. The last term to combine would be positive 4ab to the third. Okay, so a little tricky there. If I look at 25, 2y times 6x is 12xy because x comes before y. 2y times negative 4x squared y is negative 8x squared y squared. There's no parentheses on this, so I'm going to bring it down. Okay. Since we are thinking alphabetical, I look at the x's and I want to find the highest power. So if I look at my like terms, x squared, y squared, y squared, negative 8 plus 3 is, or 13, sorry, is 5. 5x squared, y squared. And then there's nothing to combine with positive 12xy, and there's nothing to combine with negative 6. So there we go. Last but not least, they want us to find, using the geometric application of this rule, is finding the area of the shaded region. So what I see in this picture are two rectangles, okay? The shaded rectangle and then a non-shaded one inside the big rectangle. So in order to find the area of the shaded region, we have to find the area of the big rectangle and then subtract the non-shaded area of the small rectangle. So if I were to show this, I want to multiply 6x times 8x minus 1, which I show by parentheses, okay, minus, because we want to subtract the non-shaded region, 2x times 5x plus 3, okay. So now I'm going to just treat it like we did these last problems. So 6x times 8x is 48x squared. 6x times negative 1 is negative 6x. Then I'm going to distribute the second set of parentheses. Negative 2x times 5x is negative 10x squared. Negative 2x times 3 is negative 6x. Then I look to see if I can combine anywhere. I can combine on the x squared. So 48x squared minus 10x squared is 38x squared. Negative 6x makes negative 12x. And there it is.